Hello dear internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefi, and today we have the full review for Scarlet, Black Shadow, aka Scallops, aka Scalter, aka way too many names, people. Just call her one thing, please. Black Shadow, Scarlet, BS, whatever, but just one name, please. Just too many names, too many names. That's it. We have everything from stats to skill priority to the best cube that she can run, compositions, and then where she's gonna be excelling at. The tier list of the website will be updated later with her most likely. And I hate doing this, but she's gonna be T0. When I say I hate doing this, I say it because I don't want to put every new unit at the top of the tier. Like, it feels bad if every new unit is on top, because most people don't care why she's on top of the tier list. They just see her on T0 and they will wanna pull, and they will wanna be like, oh, she's better than this or she's better than that. It's just a measurement of overall PvE, right? And she is one of the strongest DPSs in the game right now. So let's talk about everything related to Scarlet Black Shadow, starting with the skills. So when it comes to priority, it's gonna be 10 for 10. Some people say that you need skill 2 at level 7. You don't need it, but it's good. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's start with the skill number 1, which is Fleeting Fading Breakthrough. This is where most of her damage is gonna be coming from, since this is a 3-second full rotation. So 3 attacks, 1 second, 6 attacks, another second, 9 attacks, another second. Around 1 to 1.5 seconds every 3 attacks, depending on, your build and everything else and who you're pairing her with. This damage is amazing, and the only thing that you need to take into consideration with this skill is that it can miss. Sometimes it can miss when it comes about the affect enemies with a tank range. If they are too far away, if they are really far away, or some specific bosses, you can miss skill 1. Now, even while missing sometimes skill 1, we've been running a Stormbringer, which is, always at the back of the map, and she's been out DPSing everyone. So it's not going to really affect your unit, but just take into consideration that sometimes it can fail. Skill 1 is the highest priority to actually take to level 10, because it's final attack and you want to get as much attack as possible. We'll talk about the stats later though. Skill number 2. This skill is what allows Scarlet to actually be infinite ammo. At first I thought it was gonna be almost impossible that she is actually self-sustaining on her own, but I was wrong. I was actually wrong. A lot of people were theory crafting, and just with a skill at level 4, reloading 60% of the magazine and increasing her max ammo by 46%, she's almost on my end able to self-sustain without any max ammunition capacity lines. With 1 line and level 4, she should be able to sustain. I will personally go level 4 and 2 lines, or level 7 and 1 line of ammo, whatever you prefer, or whatever you think is cheaper for you. Get the skill to level 7 and 1 line, or getting 2 lines and then keeping this at level 4. I personally will keep her at 10 for 10 for now. This skill is incredibly powerful even at low investment, which is pretty nice. And how the infinite ammo works for the rocket launcher with so little ammo is because she's basically reloading the whole magazine, or almost the whole magazine, every time you enter Fell Burst. It's not when she bursts, it's just every time you enter Fell Burst. So you only need enough ammunition to last you in between rotations every time you burst, which is amazing, honestly. And now let's talk about Fleeting Fading Strike, which is her burst skill, 40-second cooldown, right? This is giving her so much damage, it's stupid. Now, the attack buff. A lot of people were saying like, oh, there's a 100% attack buff, it's completely broken. It's the same as normal Scarlet. Normal Scarlet on skill 1, skill 2, whatever it is, where she reduces her own HP, she also increases her own attack, stacking up to 5 times. It's literally the same percentage. So this is pretty good at level 10. And it makes sense, it's only for 10 seconds, because if this was continuously like normal Scarlet, she would be too broken. She would be too broken. She increases her own attack and the charge damage. She also transformed skill number 1 from a 3-4 second rotation into a 1.5 second rotation, which means for 10 seconds, every second she's doing 1, 2, 3, right? Every second she's doing the whole rotation. This is where most of the spikes on her damage will come, but she can self-sustain really good damage even off burst. Just like a skill 1, you do want to get this to level 10, in my opinion, if you are lacking resources, because, well, too many units. I would go with still 10 for 7. That would be like my priority in terms of, just at the start. A 10 for 7 most likely is going to be really good. If you don't have enough, just go 7 for 7 for now. Getting a skill from 7 to 9 is a lot of materials. And getting a skill from 9 to 10, that's what it gets really expensive. Again, 7 for 7, low investment. If you can overload her, it's going to be amazing. If you long term can take her to 10 for 10 or 10, 7, 10, that could be also pretty good, depending on how many lines of max ammunition you have. And speaking of max ammunition lines, let's talk about equipment and priority for the stats, because you want to get attack. Attack is the priority, so you can scale with skill number 1, right? She's doing final attack. You want to get as much attack as possible, 4 lines at least. The second important line is going to be elemental damage. Just like you all know, NIKKE is heading into a direction of elemental content, and even Scarlet Black Shadow is not going to be all DPSing on element the other units. So you want to focus on getting elemental damage on most of your DPS units. When it comes to max ammunition, like we said, it depends on skill number 2. And it also depends on the cube. We'll talk about that in a second. I would go level 4 if you get 1 or 2 lines of max ammo. Even with 1 line on level 4 and Bastion, should be enough, but if you want to get 2 lines just to be safe, you can also do that. After that, charge damage and charge speed are good, but you could mix with crit damage and crit rate. I recommend go check Ali James' videos if you want to understand why, as he talked a little bit more in depth about that. But priority is gonna be attack, elemental, max ammo, and then you can just get the rest of your filler stats. Even at this low investment that you are seeing right here, she is out DPSing most of my units on neutral element, which is crazy. She has out DPS my normal Scarlet in most situations, my Modernia, my Alice, not my Red Hood, or not everywhere my Red Hood. In some places she does, in some she doesn't. It's what it is, right? But this is really good. And now let's talk about the cube, since it's also the last part. She's gonna be wearing Bastion no matter who you're pairing her. We'll talk about team compositions in a second, but even if you're not pairing her with bunnies for the extra ammunition and whatnot, you want to go Bastion. The ammunition refill is too good, and it allows her on her own without other units to be able to again self-sustain her ammunition in between rotations, which is crazy. Again, it's what's making her so good, the constant damage, just like normal Scarlet, but she also has the spikes with the skill 1 and burst. So a team composition, which is we go to squad right here. Let's also remove Crow. I forgot this Crow. Oh my god, this fucking Crow time, guys. For those of you who don't know, one of my donation goals was to full invest into Crow and use her from January 1st all the way to May. So now I have to use her for 5 months on all the content. And that's gonna be fun, of course. It's gonna be fun. So team compositions, the normal and the most popular team composition you will see her in is gonna be with Alice. Alice is gonna be increasing her damage a lot thanks to skill number 1. If you have Alice invested, charge speed, charge damage for the 2 allies with the highest attack. This is going to be the most popular team compositions for Scarlet, depending on the bosses. Some bosses, you know, you will need an assault rifle or you will need a machine gun. It depends on what you're doing, but this is gonna be the most popular team composition. The other option that you could be running her with is with the support slash DPS, which is macro, right? Also with the skill number 1, when entering full burst, 2 allies with the highest attacks. I have not her fully invested, but you could be running her, increasing charge speed and increasing attack. So both are going to be really good options for Scarlet, and that's the most popular team composition you will see her in, unless there is a boss with core involved. In that case, you're gonna be changing, you know, your bunnies for your schoolgirls. And this is a thing that people still don't understand, but team compositions in NIKKE are simple. Like, it's not complicated. Supports have not changed since day 1. The only thing that are changing over time is, well, we're getting more meta units, which is fine, and then we're also getting more variety for DPSs. So on elemental content, you can choose which ones you want to use. The only thing that's changing nowadays for solo raids are the DPSs, right? Sometimes we find a new tech, a new team, like for example the Biscuit team being more and more popular, and also making a Biscuit a more popular NIKKE recently and skyrocketing almost tier list. So that's like a new team, right? But most of the time, teams don't change that much. So for team compositions, she's gonna be paired either with Alice or with Maxwell, or depending on the elemental content you're doing with the other units. Now, last thing I do want to talk is if she worth pulling for, is she worth MLB, is she worth Core 7? If you're asking if it's worth Core 7, you should not be Core 7 anything, right? It's not for you, it's fine. If you're not a big well, why are you Core 7 anything? Oh, it's because it's my waifu. Hey, it's fine, you know. I respect the waifu hustle. I just think it's a waste of resources. Now we talk about MLB. I will consider MLB for light spenders and free to play with a lot of resources or a lot of tickets, because she is really strong and any DPS benefits from dupes, since it's a 2% increase on stats for every extra dupe you get. So that's pretty good. When we talk to free to plays, I will try to get 1 copy. And I would personally even go as far as saying 1 copy over Modernia. Now, something really interesting is that they said you could not get Modernia on this banner, but you can get her. So if you can luck sack both of them, you know, some people have been that lucky, that would be amazing. If you can't, I would still recommend going Scarlet over Modernia, but this is me personally, because I love Scarlet and I don't really like Modernia. They are both amazing units. That said, that's gonna be it for this video. I just wanted to talk about Scarlet a little bit, you know, her build, what's good for her, what's bad for her, team compositions, blah 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 blah. We're gonna be streaming later NIKKE, Gachas, and Monster Hunter World. So if you are interested in that, come say hello later to stream. You have the links in the description. Thank you to my Patreons for making this content possible. Good luck with your pool danger raids, and see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。